Oh, I'm confused. I never should have done that search. Because the search was all wrong. It was 100% false. So, anyways, sorry. Hey, it's the D. Louise book series. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy smanchy stuff going on here. And so we are on book 2. I don't know why I came back to this. I just don't. I just wanted to know what things was gonna happen. This is book 2 of our Blue Ridge, and I'm telling you, I'm still cracking up over the fact that the co-person, the partner, is not a deputy or a doctor or a lawyer or something physical like that. He's a ballerina. He's a ballerina. It's just like West Virginia and library and a ballerina. It's just. So, she's under, Amy works at the library, and Sunny is her assistant, and Richard is the ballerina, and Aunt Lydia is her aunt, and Zelda and, Walt are Lydia's friends, and Zelda's the town gossip. She knows everything. And, they're gonna have this little bit of an a sale to raise funds. And for the library to donate, they're doing the arts and crafts table, and Rachel LeBlanc is a local artist, and she's decided to submit some paintings for the sale. And things go 6 ways to Sunday. Sunny and Richard and Amy go to pick up the paintings, and they discover Rachel is deceased. And her daughter, it may be a little stoned, not sure. She's not really, she's mentioned once or twice, and then that's it. But, that summary thing just, because was so wrong. So anyways, so like Lila is mentioned once or twice in the story, but she's kind of like an afterthought. Her father, Reese, goes missing. So there's an all points bolo out on the husband as the possible murderer. But he's not. But, I have some interruptus. Cat interruptus here. So, they find her dead. Yes, ma'am. Can I help you? Where you going? Where you going? What? Come here. Oh, come here. Come on. Yes, ma'am. So, they start investigating the murder of Rachel. And the father, like I said, is AWOL. And Lila is with her. She wants to protect her father. And then we have this other lady, Mel Riley, a rich lady, who was into art and may or may not have been involved in some forgery situation. It's a long, convoluted story that you really have to read, because one of the major parts of this story is the art, right? The art aspect of it. And it turns out, up 10 years ago, Aunt Lydia's husband, Andrew, was a really, really good artist. And apparently, this Mel person called him up during a really, 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 really bad storm. And the idiot, she said, I must have this painting and I must have it now. And she couldn't wait till the next day. And the idiot got in the car. And the idiot went to give it to her. And he ended up in a car accident. The car burned and he died. So that's why Aunt Lydia hates Mel so much. Really, really hates it. But it turns out there's a lot more behind the situation. It turns out the painting may or may not have been a real Van Gogh, because Andrew may or may not have been hired to paint and make a forgery of the Van Gogh. So it's like a if, could have been, maybe, we don't know what speculation situation going on here. Lots of art information coming your way about the forgeries and the whole art world and stuff like that. And then Brad, our police guy, deputizes Amy because Amy has a minor in art or something like that, and I forget what it's called, the lost art. I don't remember what the actual title of the organization was. They say it like 25 times, and it just left me right now. So she does searching for it. The paintings that were in Rachel's thing, because when they're investigating Rachel's studio, they find a hidden room, and there are paintings in there, forgeries of these fanciful paintings, Monet and a Morris Scott and a D. Chris. I have no idea who these people are. I know nothing. So it's, so she's researching all these paintings, and Brad has to deputize her so she can get into police websites and do all this stuff. Then they call in an expert. Dr. Chen comes to town. They've hired this expert to examine the forgeries. So they're having Amy do some of this search, and then they're having the expert come and do some of this search. I just kind of felt it was a little redundant, but that's just my personal opinion, to have two people sort of doing kind of the same thing. Although she was doing research, library research, computer research, when the expert was actually looking at the physical paintings. So that might be two different things, but it just seemed a little... And anyway, Mr. Chen, because of this big arts and crafts thing, and they're having all these people come to town for the arts and crafts thing, motels are scarce, and staying places are scarce. So Lydia offers to put the art expert up in their house, and Lydia and the art expert get a little on the friendly side. Then they have a fight, and she kicks him out, but she doesn't kick him out because things work out in the end after the discussion, blah, 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 blah. And he ends up staying a little bit. And he also ends up finding Andrew's paintings in the closet that Lydia absolutely refuses to give up, that Mel has always wanted. Mel is still harping on the painting that she should have gotten 30 years ago when Andrew died. But... and Mel is really annoyed that Lydia won't donate a couple of paintings to this arts and crafts thing. And then Lydia decides, yes, I'll donate a couple. And it's like a couple of still lifes or whatever. I'm not going to worry about that. But Mel is really highly annoyed that she wasn't allowed to choose the two paintings. So obviously she's looking for a specific painting. So Mel has got the material out of Miss Head of the Friends thing. She's part of the library thing. And Mel's son is acting really, really suspiciously. He's showing up at the grocery store when Amy's grocery storing. He's showing up when she's walking to work because she lives close enough to the library to walk to it. And because of all the arts, craft sales, and all the tourists coming in town, there's no parking at the library. So she's walking. So, Mel's son, Trey, is showing up in all these different places. So something's is suspicious about his activities too. Then you have Richard, our ballerina, and I don't know what to call him, I should actually look it up. I probably should. There may be a term for it. I don't know. I just read the books. But anyway, there's this big show in New York that Richard had helped create for charity, and the lead and the understudy, one had a broken ankle or something, and one got sick, so Richard was the only person who could fill in, so he goes to New York for this thing, and his ex-fiancé, who just left her husband of under 1 year, is going to be the co-lead of the play. And after a couple of days, Sunny, Amy's assistant, and Lydia and Zelda and Walt chip in and they buy her a plane ticket to New York so she can go surprise Richard for the final showing. And she goes to the final showing and she walks in on Richard and his ex, Meredith. And I thought for a split second, I really thought, because you could see it coming. But the author didn't go that way, which was really, really weird, because a lot of authors will go that way. But she didn't go that way. We walked in on the moment, and it wasn't really a moment. They were just like together moment. They weren't actually together. It was just in the same room togetherness. And that was it. It was like, oh, hi, how are you? And there was nothing else to it. And some authors would have went with it. Some authors would have, because I've had some authors that will play with that for a couple of books, to give up the sexual tension. But they didn't do that. Victoria didn't do that. She just let it go. It was just like a meet and greet type situation. So we had a really nice romantic evening. She went to the after party. And it turned out it was in Kendrick's gallery. Kendrick owns many galleries. Kendrick is the rich guy in town who Amy isn't too pleased with. She doesn't trust him a lot. And it turns out Mr. Kendrick is highly, semi-sorta. All right, he's not in the middle of the thing. He's on the outskirts. He knows what's going on. He's watching from the exterior, but he knows what's going on. He knows who the players are. And then we have a couple other people turn up dead. There was a young boy. Lila's boyfriend was seen on the property. There was 2 people seen on the property. But only Sunny, Amy's assistant, only saw Cohen. She didn't see the second guy. Cohen saw the second guy. But, so now the police want Cohen because he was the last seen at the crime of the murder. But he was only there to see Lila. But he did see the second guy. But no one knows who the second guy was. Or do they? We don't know. My screen just froze. It was just fucking weird. But then Cohen ends up dead. And we still have Trey acting really weird. And we get a whole slew of art information. A whole bunch of art information comes at you. A whole bunch of more information of background information on Andrew, Aunt Lydia's deceased husband, the painter. And a whole bunch more information comes at you about Mel. And Trey comes to Amy again. And he pulls a gun on her. And he insisting that all this stuff happens, that she has this thing, the Van Gogh. And Amy's like, She's like, no, I can't give you something I do not have. And then Aunt Lydia comes home and gets involved in it. And he takes him for, the gunpoint ride situation. And we have a little bit of a climax scene. And then we have another person come into it and confess all. And Trey is just totally ticked off about this other person that was involved. And Mr. Kendrick is, he finally speaks up to the police about what he knows and was aware of. He wasn't directly involved, but he knew of stuff. And there seems this is really big, bad syndicate peoples that also had a little bit of an interest in all this, too. So we have our big climax scene. And if you want to know more, read the book about the ballerina in the library. Sorry. I don't know. I think that's it for me. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I've got a couple more. I just don't know. I've got a couple other books. Some new stuff that arrived. And I read Molly the other day. Miss Murphy, Miss Bowen, Rias Bowen. So check out that review yesterday or the day before. And we'll get this one going. And I'm gonna start looking for my next book. If I don't find something, I will pick up uh there's a new one coming later today. A light, funny one. I don't know. I might save that for a day when I'm not feeling so good. We'll have to see. Don't forget to check out Star Trek Next Generation Recaps Fridays or Star Trek Voyager Recap Fridays, JD Rob Saturdays, Unboxing Sunday. Anybody does an unboxing on YouTube, they know what's in that box. They know exactly. Somebody sent it as a gift or they ordered it. I get these boxes. I have no idea what's in them. It's like Christmas every week. And then we take the boxes, the books in the boxes, and we divide them up into different charities, and they're out of here by Sunday. And of course, don't forget Flashback Mondays, and check out my new series, ARC Extravaganza. I am having a trip with that. The first one was awesome. So have a good one.